are you doing, Poppy?
Aaron Bryant out to have a chat. He's head curator.
Okay. Wonder if I'm broadcasting. Is the audio working? Okay, so I've got one person in here. I'm assuming that's you, Alex. Can you hear me at all? Awesome. Alright, I'm going to record. I don't know that I've got noise suppression running in the background or not, because I haven't tested this before. But we'll get this going and see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 wires here to connect. I thought it was a 5-way. Yeah, I do want it to be a 5-way, but this will work. So this is actually going to be used for my I2C connection on the Fred's head. So my variant of the InMove robot, which I've named Fred, frequently re-engineered device, uses these PCA 9685 servo drivers. Now on this end I've got 6 terminals, on this end it's 5. I've actually removed the output enable pin and I haven't installed the V+. Okay, that game should have finished. I think it was actually cricket playing in the background. Now one of the things I've learnt very early is to strip all your wires first, because there's nothing worse than stripping these, getting them crimped off, all trimmed up, crimped off, and halfway through you cut one through while trying to strip it. Listening to the noise in the background, I haven't got noise suppression running. I'll have to figure out how to get that working through the OBS studio. I'm not going to use the black wire, so I'm not going to strip it and connect it. Okay, so that's a 5-way. These are the pins and these are the sockets. So these are the crimpers I'm using. Had a little bit of use. The part number is no longer visible on it. I didn't think I'd crimp that many with it. Right, so these things have 2 layers of crimping. One's for the outer shroud and one's for the inner. So what we do is the deeper step in here is for the outer, and you bring it in until the outside crimp parts. See if I can get this in closer. Try and get a bit more light on that. Okay, so whack it in there, pull it back until it hits the end, and then bring the crimper up. I found 2 clicks is just enough for mine. It can vary from unit to unit. and we poke the wire in through this end until we just see it in the crimp for the inner part. So you can just see where the insulation, we pull that back so it's only in the insulated area, and then we crimp down. And you can see that's not a bad crimp. So let's do that again. Now I've got Alex on another channel telling me that his crimps are not that big, but looking at some photos he sent me, I think it's more his crimper is much wider than mine in the throat in here rather than the crimp itself. Number 2. Using pliers to crimp these up may not work as well as you might think. The biggest issue with that, it's got a bit of insulation around the outside, it's going to make life hard. The problem with if you try and crimp it with pliers is you're not going to roll over the edge to dig into the wire and grip it very well if you try and use pliers. And that's the 5 of them. Now there's a small side and a large side. These always poke in from the large side, and always make sure you've got this side. So when you look at them, see if I can get that in closer. So there's a side here, it's almost got a spring in it. The crimp rollovers are on the top, and then we can push that in with the little latches on the top. Any other way and they won't hold in and they'll pull out. That one's being difficult for me. Okay, I think I've got it. Now, adjust my camera a bit. And inside here is where my connections will be. So I want my green wire on the back, and that just plugs in here. Okay, so the other end of my wire I'm not going to crimp up yet because I don't know how long it needs to be. I will eventually mount that into the back of in move, so in the back of Fred's body, when I get round to making that work. So yeah, crimping, there's not much to it. Just takes a bit of practice. The only thing I can think of, based off the photos, and I'll try and post a copy of that in at some stage, Alex's crimper is wider across here. If you can't crimp it properly, maybe a dab of solder on it to hold it might be a good idea. Alright, well, that was all I really wanted to show on this stream, so I'm going to call it quits on the stream.